UFC 305 predictions continue. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker in a lightweight battle. I mean, it's Gamrot. I think Gamrot is better than Dan Hooker in a lot of aspects, especially the ground game. And I think Dan Hooker really struggles at getting up when it gets to the ground. So I like Mateusz Gamrot here a lot. This is a guy that has a win over Sarukian that not a lot of people like to talk about. This is a guy who has beaten a lot of guys. I know he struggled at times, but he has beaten a lot of guys. And they both have a win over Jalen Turner. You could say Dan Hooker's was a better win, but I think that was more Jalen Turner just being Jalen Turner than Dan Hooker actually fighting well. Now, Dan Hooker came out of that fight with a broken arm, and then he re-injured it. He's over a year now, coming back in 13 months now. He's back in the octagon. I think Gamrot just controls the fight, and he's just a smarter fighter than I think Dan Hooker here is going to be used to. I know the price is minus 350. This is a parlay piece right here is Mateusz Gamrot. I'm parlaying him with Urseg. I'm parlaying him with Dricus du Plessis. It's a way to get the number down, right? And I explain this a lot in a lot of my UFC videos. The way I do this, if I'm putting a unit down on Urseg, to try and get a better price on Urseg, I'm going to take part of that 1 unit wager on Urseg and parlay him with a lot of guys I think are going to win, like a Gamrot, like Thad Jean and PFL. I'm also going to be doing this with. And it's a way to get maybe a fifth of the unit bet on a better price, a plus money price. And if Gamrot loses, then I just lose a fifth of the 1 unit bet. If he wins, now I all of a sudden have a chance to get a better price on my Urseg wager, right? I think this has worked out for me a lot, and I like doing it. And I just think Gamrot's better. I mean, I think his resume is just much better. I think this is a guy that struggled, yes, against Turner, maybe struggled against Dos Anjos. I think Dos Anjos would beat Dan Hooker right now in this moment. I don't think Dan Hooker is some amazing, out-of-this-world fighter, and I really don't, like, if I had to put a lock on any fight in the main card, I would put a lock that Gamrot beats Dan Hooker. That would be my 100% lock of the night, is that Gamrot beats Dan Hooker. I know that's unfair at minus 350. I'm telling you what to do with the price to get it lower. You can grab a couple guys to do it. You can grab, if there's a guy that's too high in the PFL, if you're seeing this before the PFL starts tonight, if there's a guy you like in the PFL that's too high, put him with Gamrot. It lowers the price on both ends. Gamrot wins. I just don't think Dan Hooker's good. Now he's struggling with injuries. Reportedly, he's struggling with injuries for the last 13 months. I think it's Gamrot's time to shine. I think this division's kind of forgetting about Gamrot. I think his Sarukian win was very impressive. I know I keep bringing that up, but Sarukian might be the next contender for a lightweight championship, right? And I think Gamrot maybe not is in that conversation, but he should be right next after Sarukian in that conversation, or is right there at the top for a conversation like that. So Gamrot wins this fight. I think he's better in almost every aspect of fighting. Parlay him up. If you want more UFC prediction videos, they're all on my channel. UFC 305. I mean, we're going to do all the UFC fights moving forward. If you like it, hit the subscribe button. If you want more betting advice, hit the subscribe button. I'm Josh Wissey. Thank you.